Rey Mysterio has been considered to be one of the all-time greats in professional wrestling. From his time wrestling in Mexico south of the border, to his time in ECW, to his time in WCW, making his way to the WWE. Rey Mysterio has won more championships than almost anybody in professional wrestling. Some would say that accolade could rival that of guys like Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Sting, John Cena, and now the new WWE Hall of Famer, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Rey Mysterio has won championships everywhere he's been, including WCW, winning the WCW Cruiserweight Championship several times in his career, to becoming a 3-time world champion in WWE and a multi-time tag team champion, as well as a Royal Rumble winner in 2006, pulling off one of the biggest feats we had ever seen, going 62 minutes to eliminating all 29 men to win the Royal Rumble and becoming the world champion at WrestleMania in Chicago. We found out recently that Rey Mysterio suffered 2 fractured ribs against Austin Theory on a past episode of Monday Night Raw. And the proof is within AAA, because, as I said, he's won championships everywhere he's been, including AAA, making him a AAA Hall of Famer. He's been doing commentary for AAA over the last what, month and a half now, couple months, and he's been doing pretty well, if I would say so, of course. However, because of those fractured ribs, we found out that Rey Mysterio originally was supposed to do this next year in 2027, but because of the fractured ribs, we found out that 2026 will be his final year in professional wrestling, working in the ring as a full-time talent. This means that later this year, in May? I think it's in May, will be the last time Rey Mysterio will ever compete in a wrestling ring. That will take place at Clash in Italy later this year. We need to talk about some of the big highlights that Rey Mysterio has had throughout his entire career. Excuse me. Some of the big highlights from Rey's career included being one of the leaders of the LWO, the Latino World Order, which rivaled that of the NWO, the New World Order, which apparently no one knows why. No one knows why, but if you guys do know, you guys can drop theories or actual reasons in the comments below. But we saw him work with guys like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul. We've seen Rey Mysterio work with guys like Conan and Psychosis, La Barca, so many others throughout his entire career in WCW and even in WWE. One of his first major PLE matches was at SummerSlam against Kurt Angle, which was the opening match of that night, and it ultimately became one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. It showcased technical wrestling, submission-based wrestling, and high-flying wrestling, all rolled into one singular match, which was incredible. Another incredible feat that Rey Mysterio had was again as I stated, winning the Royal Rumble, entering the match at number 2. Think about that. Entering the match at number 2 and lasting the entire field. Squaring off against guys like Bobby Lashley, Triple H, Randy Orton, guys like who else? Excuse me. Guys like Simon Dean, guys like Carlito, Ric Flair, Lashley. I mentioned. Rob Van Dam. Who else was in there? I'm trying to remember who else was in that event. Let me see. Royal Rumble 2006. All right. So let's see. Okay, so the order of entry for the 2006 Royal Rumble went as followed: Triple H, Rey Mysterio, and again, this is in numerical order. So again, Triple H, Rey Mysterio, Simon Dean, Psychosis, Ric Flair, Big Show, Jonathan Coachman, which was very, very funny, Bobby Lashley, Kane, Sylvain Grenier, Carlito, Chris Benoit, God rest his soul, Booker T, Joey Mercury, Tatanka, John Morrison, or Johnny Nitro at that time, Trevor Murdoch, Eugene, Road Warrior Animal, Rob Van Dam, Orlando Jordan, Chavo Guerrero, Matt Hardy, Super Crazy, Shawn Michaels, Chris Masters, Viscera, Shelton Benjamin, Goldust, Randy Orton. The order of elimination might just shock you. Simon Dean, Psychosis, Ric Flair, Jonathan Coachman, Sylvain Grenier, Big Show, Bobby Lashley, Big Show, Kane, Booker T, Road Warrior Animal, Chavo Guerrero, Tatanka, Trevor Murdoch, Matt Hardy, Eugene, Super Crazy, Benoit, Viscera, Chris Masters, Goldust, Orlando Jordan, Joey Mercury, Johnny Nitro. At that time, they were the WWE Tag Team Champions. Shelton Benjamin, Shawn Michaels, Carlito, Rob Van Dam, Triple H, and Randy Orton. Randy Orton got eliminated by Rey Mysterio, who lasted 62 minutes and 12 seconds to win the 2006 Royal Rumble, and he went on to WrestleMania 22 in Chicago and defeated both Randy Orton and Kurt Angle to win the World Heavyweight Championship, which was considered to be one of his all-time greatest feats of all time. That was until he won the WWE title in 2011. Now to give a little bit of context on that, John Cena at that time was the WWE champion. He was scheduled to defend the title against CM Punk, ironically enough, in Chicago. at a pay-per-view called Money in the Bank. CM Punk defeated John Cena to win the WWE title, and that was when his contract with WWE expired. It expired at midnight that night, I believe the very next night, WWE announced that there would be a tournament to crown a brand new WWE champion. Rey Mysterio would ultimately win that tournament by defeating The Miz in the finals to win said title. Later that night, he was challenged by John Cena, and Cena regained that title. Even though Rey Mysterio's reign as champion was short-lived, it was definitely an incredible feat for the Hall of Famer. Now we fast forward to, well, this time around, in the last 6 years. We saw Rey Mysterio do something that we never would have expected. And that was have a match with his own son, Dominic, who at that time started to join up with the Judgment Day when Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor were in the group. Nowadays, the Judgment Day is Dirty Dom, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, and JD McDonough. That's it. Literally, that's the new Judgment Day, which, I mean, it is what it is, you know? I mean, Judgment Day is going to be Judgment Day. Dom will be Dom. Excuse me, Dirty Dom will always be doing Dirty Dom things. Not much else to say about that. So, we do know that, as of right now, we are less than a few weeks away from WrestleMania, and some people believe that Rey Mysterio could miss out on what could very well be his last WrestleMania ever. He missed out on last year's WrestleMania due to injury, and originally it was supposed to have been Rey Mysterio at that time versus the original El Grande Americano, but Rey Fenix took over that match and lost to El Grande Americano. And now the question becomes this: who will be Rey Mysterio's last opponent at WrestleMania, and who will be his last opponent ever in professional wrestling? Think about this. When it comes to WWE, Rey Mysterio's first opponent ever was Chavo Guerrero. That was his first opponent. Since then, Rey Mysterio has been in the ring against some of the best, including guys like John Cena, guys like CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Damian Priest, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Brock Lesnar, Ultimo Dragon, Kane, Big Show, Brock Lesnar I mentioned, The Undertaker, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton I mentioned, Rob Van Dam, Eddie Guerrero, JBL, The Boogeyman, Booker T, who else? Triple H, Ric Flair. He has been in the ring against some of the best, and he's one of those guys who will always admit that he has seen the best, he's fought the best, he's beaten the best, and he's lost to the best, making him truly one of the all-time greats in professional wrestling. And I think that's the kind of legacy that Rey Mysterio wants to leave behind when he does retire later this year. It's not only is it the admiration that he's gotten from the fans throughout his entire career, but also the amount of instant classic matches that he's had over the last 3+ decades that he's been doing this. And so when you really think about it, his last opponent at WrestleMania has to be against someone that can truly give him a challenge, someone that can give him a run for his money. And I think, in my personal opinion, I think that has to be Dragon Lee. And the reason why I say that is because there's not one person in WWE that wants to see Gunther face Rey Mysterio. Nobody wants to see that. And I know that because I've seen comments on social media, especially on outlets, like Facebook and X, where people have always said that it cannot be Gunther, and I don't blame them. I do not blame them one bit. I mean, here's the thing, right? Goldberg being retired by Gunther, that's one thing, right? That's one thing. Goldberg was already at the end of his rope. Goldberg knew that he only had one match left, and he knew it, and we knew it. John Cena was one thing, right? I get that there were a lot of fans, myself included, that wanted to see John Cena defeat Gunther in the only way that Cena knew how. But Cena knew that there was no way that he could go on. So he did indeed tap out. He tapped out 100%. And we knew that was going to be the end of his career. AJ Styles on the other hand, that one was completely unexpected, and we did not want to see that. We wanted to see AJ Styles have a year-long retirement run like WWE did for John Cena, but obviously things were not meant to be. But imagine Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. Imagine what happens there. If Gunther wins, let's say, hypothetically speaking, that match takes place. Gunther wins, Rey Mysterio retires. Where does Gunther go from here? He goes after the World Heavyweight title right now, currently being held by CM Punk. As far as how long, well, we'll just have to wait and see. And the entire WWE fan base will boo the holy shit out of the ring general, to the point where they could potentially be throwing trash at the guy, which is possible, which is very possible, but we'll have to wait and see. And I know, and again, if Gunther ends up being Rey Mysterio's last WrestleMania opponent, we know how it's going to end. It ain't gonna end well. So the only person, as far as WrestleMania goes, that I feel like should be his last opponent, it has to be Dragon Lee, or someone that can give him a run for his money and give him the match of a lifetime. Gunther is not it. Gunther's not it. But as far as Clash in Italy goes, who should be his final opponent ever? It has to be his own son. 100%, my opinion, it has to be his own son, Dominic, because what better way to earn Rey's respect than by defeating him one-on-one? What better way? What better way for Dominic Mysterio to earn Rey's respect again than by pinning him in the middle of the ring, without anybody bailing him out? What better way? But if you guys believe that there should be someone else that could take up the challenge, you guys can let me know in the comments below. But shout outs to Rey Mysterio, the WWE and AAA Hall of Famer. If this is his last year in professional wrestling, thank you so much for the incredible moments, the incredible matches, and for being such an inspiration to the entire WWE universe. Cannot wait to see what happens in the future. But we do know that supposedly Rey Mysterio, just like AJ Styles, is going to be having a backstage role with WWE. So I think it's pretty safe to say that AEW will not be in the cards for Rey Mysterio, just like it won't be in the cards for AJ Styles, even though a lot of people believe that he should be in AEW. Not that I watch it anyway, but still. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.